Hello, good afternoon. My name is Angelo Garcia, and I will show about the mute film or the silent definition of a silent film. A silent film or a mute film is a film with no synchronized recorded sound. Though silent films combine narrative and emotion visually, various plot elements, or key lines or dialogue may, when necessary, be conveyed by the use of the title cards or intertitles. The term "silent film" is something of a misnomer, and these films were almost always accompanied by live sounds. During, during the silent era that existed from the mid of 1890s to the late 1920s, a pianist, theater organist, or even in large cities, and small orchestra would often play music to accompany the films. Pianists and organists will play either from sheet music or improvisation. Elements and beginnings of silent films. Film projection mostly evolved from the magic lantern shows, which utilized a glass lens and a persistent light source to project images from the glass slides onto a wall. These slides were originally hand-painted, but after the advent of photography in the 19th century, wheel photographers were something used. The invention of a practical photography apparatus preceded cinema by about 50 years. Intertitles in a silent film. As motion pictures gradually increased in running time, a replacement was needed for an in-house interpreter who would explain parts of the film to the audience. Because silent films had no synchronized sound for dialogue, on-screen intertitles were used to narrate story points, present key dialogue, and sometimes even comment on the action for the audience. The title writer became a key professional in silent films and was often separate from the scenario writer who created the story. Intertitles often were graphic elements themselves, featuring illustrations of abstract decoration that comment the action. The silent film era. The art of motion pictures grew into the full maturity in the silent era. 1894 in film to 1929 in film. The height of the silent era from the early 1910 in film to the late 1920 was a particularly frightful period, full of artistic innovation. The film movement of classical Hollywood as well as French Impressionists, German Expressionists, and Soviet montage began in this period. Silent filmmakers pioneered the art form to the extent that virtually every style and genre of film making of the 20th and 21st centuries has an artistic roots in the silent era.
Hello, my name is Damaris Ramirez. I study chemical engineering and I'm going to tell you about what a computer is. I would like to start with a question. What is it? What is a computer? Okay, as we can read, computer is a machine that is designed to make life easier for us. Our computer does this by processing data to turn it into useful information for us. One of the great advantages of the computer is that through it we can develop different types of presentations which help us to have a good quality of development throughout an exhibition. This leads me to the next point. Among some of the systems that the computer contains for making presentations are the following. First one, PowerPoint. It is a popular presentation program developed for operating system Microsoft Windows and Mac OS. Widely used in various fields such as teaching or business. It is a program designed to make practical presentations with online text, easy to understand text and image animations, clip art, or imported from image of the computer. Different font, template, and animation designs can be applied to it. This type presentation is very eye-catching and much more practical than Microsoft Word. PowerPoint from the Microsoft company is one of the most widely used presentation programs in the actuality. It comes integrated in the Microsoft Office package as one more member, which can take advantage of the advantage offered by the components and the equipment to obtain optimal results. Prezi, it is a multimedia application that is used for creation and presentation of presentations similar to those made in Microsoft Office PowerPoint, but in a more dynamic and original way, in which information can be organized in the form of an outline and exposed freely without the slideshow. And the last one, Audio. It is a fantastic tool that allows us to make presentations using video as the protagonist. The idea is to be able to show a video and a presentation simultaneously, synchronizing, synchronizing the moments so that the right content appears when we want. To finish, as we can see, right now I am using a computer and different types of informations to make this presentation. For this reason, I consider that the computer is one of the most important equipment for making presentations. Thank you for your attention.
Hi, my name is Germán José Paz Cordón, and I will talk about the projector. First, what is a projector? Well, a projector is an output device that takes image generated by a computer or Blu-ray reproductor and reproduce them by projection on a screen, wall, or another surface. For example, you could use a projector to show a presentation on a large screen so that everyone in the room can see it. Now I talk about the create the invent when was patented. The first slide projector was patented on May 11 in 1965 by David Hazen. But this projector function introducing cards one by one with the information to be projected. For, for this reason, Jean Dolgoff creates the digital projector. This projector needs another device to pass the information to, to be projected. That was the projector we know today. Was created in 1984, but he came without the concept for it in 1968. Finally, how is a projector used today? A projector, the projector is very important audiovisual because it can be used in a presentation or in other cases like project a PowerPoint presentation at a business meeting or project a computer screen to teach a class in a school or college or just see a movie on a large screen. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Janira Sik. I am a science and systems engineering student, and today I'm going to talk about what is a presentation. First of all, let's see what is a presentation. A presentation is a type of a visual aid that helps the presenter to have a support using text or images or videos or any other tool that helps out to deliver information to an audience. What are some examples of presentations? Well, the first tool is called Novio. This tool can help you to add audios and videos. This tool also helps you to share them through social networks or through email. It also has not a limit of the amount of videos that you can add to it. The next tool is one of my favorites. It's called Powtoon. This tool helps you out to create animated presentations. It is a pretty good tool that helps you out to create animated presentations, and it is free. However, it has a 5-minute limit for you to create presentations on animated videos. The next tool that we have is called Prezi. This tool it's really good because it helps you to create engaging and dynamic presentations. At the beginning, it's a little bit complex to understand and to use. However, once you get used to using it, it is a really good tool and it has really good animations. The next tool that we have, it's called Emaze. This tool has a pretty good presentation templates, which you can choose from, which it can be article newspapers that you can add or advertising posters. It has a free version, but it has some features that are limited, and for you to use it, you have to pay a monthly quote. However, you can add password to your presentations and share them by email or by social networks. The next one that we have it's Haiku Deck. This one it can be seen as an Instagram version for presentations. It's pretty simple to handle, and you can use it either on your computer or on an iPad. And you can convert it to PDF or to PowerPoint presentation and share it through your social networks. The next one that we have is Slidebean. This presentation aid, it's really good because it helps you out to add content. You can automatically adapt it to be an interactive slide. It has an aesthetic value. It's really good because it allows you also to export it to presentations or PowerPoint presentations or PDF. And it has a lot of templates. It's a really good tool. The next one is one that I really use a lot. It's called Canva. It has a lot of templates, and not only for presentation, it has also templates for other type of tools. And you can customize it as you want, with changing colors, changing the type of letter, the size, and you can add videos, you can add pictures, and it's pretty easy to use. And you don't need to have design notions. The next one, it's a pretty common tool that it's called Google Slides. This one is where you can create presentations that are collaborative. You can use it and change this presentation at the same time with a partner, with a friend, or with a team. So it is a really good tool because it helps you out to do presentations collaboratively. The next one is called Bisme. This one is really good tools because you can make infographics, you can make graphs, and other visual contents as well. It does not need prior knowledge for it to be used. It has templates, a lot of templates as well, and it has interactive elements. You can insert text, you can insert images and videos, and a lot of other items that you need to use for your presentation. And the last one, it's called Swipe. What I like about this one is that you can add surveys and polls, unlike the other ones, because this one is a more interactive presentation or visual aid for you to interact more with the audience. So it's something that I really like a lot. And it allows your students or the audience to participate in it. So as a conclusion, I would like to say that these are really good tools and that I really recommend them. And well, thank you very much. That will be all. And I would like to go with my next classmate.
Hi, I am Kenny Biasinda. I will tell about on the visual eyes, which will be posters. What is it? A poster is the first-rate advertising medium. Printing on paper is the main of the communicate that must convey a clear, perceptible, and effective message, either through typography, graphic, or pad. Poster images. The generally the size or format of advertising posters has adhered to a series of measures that have to do with standard paper formats and their use. One of these formats, the most common among the sizes that we can say are from A0 to A7. Information of a poster. The composition of the elements of the elevation poster can be diverse, and the poster is an the repertoire of the ideal and emotional means of product, which introduce complex feelings in the person such as decided to buy, com- confidence in the brand, originality, or desire for its image. Basic characteristics are in the language information and the graphic interpretation if given with the treatment of the typography as a formal element. It contains an iconographic elements that the word is the main characteristics is the iconic reference to the object to which it refers. That is, with the summary and the grade of the iconic. For example, and flower and tree and bottle and chair. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Leo and I'm going to talk about infographics. Infographics are defined as a visual representation of information. They are a collection of imagery, charts, and minimal text that gives an easy to understand overview of a topic. Notice how overview is a key word in what I said, since infographics are mostly used to give a quick and clear view of some data or information. So visuals in infographic should be exciting and engaging. These aspects help viewers understand the content. They are all about being engaging and visually stunning. Presentations that use visual aids like infographics are 43 more effective persuading their audience to take an action. Since 90% of information is transmitted to brain as visual information, we need to encourage its use in presentation to make the our audience collect and keep more of what we are telling them. We can digest information 60 times faster viewing information than reading a text. And infographics are the perfect tool for this because they are easy and interesting to digest and view. They give us more chances that our audience will keep what we are saying. We need a balance between design and information. Infographics can just focus on design, like fonts or icons or images, without giving the viewer key information in a logical order. The design should be exciting, engaging, and outstanding, but it ordered in a logical and easy to follow manner. We need to know that the audience we are targeting and give them information that they need to know and are prepared to know. Well, I will talk about this in a few seconds. So let's just start a quick guide about how to create an infographic. The first step is defining your audience. We need to define who's the infographic for and who is it not for. Eliminating the audience will lead in a good infographic. We need to ask ourselves, who is going to watch this? Does he or she knows the basic of this topic and what position are they working on? What are their interests? This will force us to adapt to their learning style and expectations. It's not the same to create an infographic for a college student than a middle schooler or an executive representative. The next step is setting up your goals. This is important because we need to focus on some topic, and in this type of visual aid, less is more. Trying to inform about multiple topics will cause a hard to digest data. You need to ask yourself, are you informing? Are you trying to engage in performing an action? Are you trying to compare things? These are the kind of things that you want to just focus on this one and set up your goals. The next step is gather the information. This is one of the hardest parts of creating an infographic because gathering data needs a difficult process of obtaining, cleaning, transforming data into useful insights. Then you need to filter what's going to be used in the infographic and what's not. The next step is to select the type, and you will base this selection in the three previous steps I told you. So we have here five types of or themes of infographics. Here is a timeline, which is mostly used to inform about historical events, a process that is used to guide the viewer to multiple steps or lists that are used to share information about the same type of things, or comparison in which you check these differences and similarities between things. Information infographics are mostly used as a generic template. They work for every other thing, and so you can use that if none of the above works for you. The last step is put it all together. You need to create a hierarchy and a logical order of the information and select a tool like Pictographics or Canva to design and publish it. Well, and that's it. You've got your infographic. Thanks.
Talk about of the audiovisual aims we find of the television. The television, the definition of the television is a system for the transmission of image and sounds at the devices through hertz waves. In the case of the cable television, the transmission takes place through a specialization network. Many television stations are those that exist in the world. However, among the best known are the American NBC, the British BBC, of the Spain's TVE. Through these television channels and many others, we have a window to the world in our living room, which has allowed use through it to witness such important events as, for example, the arrival of the men of the moon. The development of televisions is very complex and has been out of for more that century. This Nikko patented in 1884 is considered the first television set. They come cut-hole tubes, the VCR, digitalization, satellite transmission, heat definition, and internet television, among others advanced. The first television or televisions only transmit image in black and white. The next step was to create television with a color screen of different size. The last great advance was the development of the flat screen television with liquid crystal displays LCD or plasma. It is a word mentions that it is possible to watch television through a computer thanks to turner of the cars, capture cars.
Hello, my name is Josue, and today I'm going to present to you what are audiovisual aids. We can define them as educational materials or devices directed at both senses, the sense of hearing and the sense of sight, such as films, recordings, or many more, that are used to make the lesson or the material more interesting and more realistic. The main purpose of using audiovisual aids is to make sure that the presentation is more interesting and you can engage more with the public, and also is more dynamic the presentation. And like the definition says, these are a combination of two medias: the auditory media, such as microphones or recorders, and the visual media, such as films, videos, presentation, and PowerPoint presentation, and many more. You may think that audiovisual aids may have only advantages. No, we have to make sure that we focus also on the disadvantages to make sure that we can take most of the audiovisual aids we are using. The advantages of audiovisual aids is to help in maintaining discipline to the people who are listening to the presentation or lesson. This such as they can help such as students that don't pay much attention to the class, or co-workers that are only there because the boss said himself, and many more. Integrating technology into the workspace can help students and workers to experience things virtually or vigorously. This can also help like the students who may be bosses one day in their own companies, so we can integrate this new technology into the workspace so that the presentation will be more dynamic, and also provides intrinsic motivation to the students and also your coworkers by piquing the curiosity and stimulating interest. By making the presentation more interesting and more dynamic, you may pique their curiosity, or they may curious. They may ask you more questions. They may ask you how did you do it and much more. But there are some disadvantages as well. One of them is too much audiovisual material used at one time can result in boredom. Like this have to you have to make sure that well, using the audiovisual aid, it have to be like dynamic, fun of, motivated to make the presentations, because if not, the presentation may be more boring and maybe more, maybe it may be less interested, and this will not help at all. And the other disadvantage is that it takes a lot of time to prepare a presentation. Like it won't take a lot more time if you're in a rush and you have to make the presentation in a few days. It's best that you not use audiovisual aids because it may take more time to prepare the presentation, and you may not complete the whole presentation.
Hi, my name is Ana Lucia, and today I'm going to talk about another type of audiovisual aid, that is the whiteboard. I think that everyone knows what's a whiteboard because when we went to school or university, we have seen it in the front of the class with a lot of annotations, graphics, or whatever they were. So basically, a whiteboard is a shiny surface that is used to write ideas, make drawings, or take notes of different topics, and all this with the help of markers. Um, this is the concept of a traditional whiteboard, but thanks to the evolution of technology we have nowadays, a new type of whiteboard that is the interactive whiteboard or the smartboard. These have the same functions uh, as the traditional whiteboard, but the only thing is that it is presented in a virtual way, and it has more functions like add multimedia such as pictures, videos, audios, or GIFs, and that makes more interactive the explanations and presentations. On the internet, we can find many softwares dedicated to bring this service, like the ones I'm going to talk about. The first one is Jamboard, that it's a Google application, and to use it, you have to have a Google account. You can work online with more people in this application. Then we have Microsoft Whiteboard, that it's provided by Microsoft, obviously, and is the same as Jamboard. Then we have OpenBoard, that it is simpler than the others, but it is still useful and have the necessary tools to use it as a smartboard. So these were the mainly um, interactive whiteboards you can find on the internet, but there are still more if you want to prove others. Thanks for your attention, and I'm letting the word to the next classmate. Thanks.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Julio Perez and I will talk about film strips. This is one of the part of the visual aids. So, the film strip is a form of still image instructional multimedia, once commonly used by educators in primary and secondary schools, overtaken at the end of the 1980s by newer and increasingly lower cost full motion, video cassettes, and later on by DVDs. From the 1940s to 1980s, film strips provided an easy and inexpensive alternative to 16 millimeters educational films, requiring very little storage space and being very quick to rewind for the next use. Film strips were large and durable, and rarely needed splicing. They are still used in some areas. Typically, a film strip's running time was between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on how they were narrated or produced. Film strips, which often came with an instructor's guide, were flexible enough to be used in both self-paced learning formats or a full classroom. In addition to a standard classroom wall or screen projector, a personal film display units were available with a screen size of approximately 8 inches diagonal for up-close viewing by one or two people. Thank you very much.